episode, we are going to be looking at a mountain that has swallowed a lot of villages. And this mountain is Mount Elgon, found in Uganda, and the district we are going to be looking at is known as Bududa. Bududa is a place of mist, beauty, and deep-rooted history. For generations, families lived peacefully on the fertile slopes of Mount Elgon, but the mountain has always been restless. Long before the famous disasters, the elders spoke of strange movements in the hills, cracks forming after heavy rains, and streams that suddenly changed course. And then came the first true warning, the earliest landslide that showed Bududa what the mountain was capable of. The earliest major landslide recorded in Bududa struck decades before the world had the name Bududa. In the news, it happened quietly, without cameras, without officials, without rescue teams. Only villagers were there to witness it. The rains had been falling for days. People noticed the ground softening. Houses leaned slightly forward and water sweeping out of the soil. Most thought it was a normal mountain rain, but one night the earth opened. A mass of soil tore down the hill, destroying gardens, sweeping away goats, and taking the lives of several villagers. The survivors fled in the dark, screaming into the rain. To this day, that first landslide has no official count, no exact date recorded, only stories whispered by the elders. One elder said, "I was a child, but I remember the night. The mountain groaned, the ground shook, and I heard my father shout that the hill was breaking. When dawn came, our neighbors' homes were gone, buried. Even their paths were erased. It was the first time we feared the soil beneath our feet." After the first disaster, the people rebuilt. They believed it was a tragedy that would not return. But the mountain remembers everything. That first slide was only a beginning of whatever was coming towards them. Over the years, small slides continued, taking one house there, a garden there, a footpath swallowed by earth. Warnings came slowly in pieces. But then came the year when Bududa changed forever. This year was 2010. The rain spoke louder than before. Streams overflowed, hillside cracks, and the trees tilted like they were being pulled from below. Villagers reported light tremors and soil shifting under their feet, and unusual gaps appearing on the slopes. And then the mountain collapsed again. Mud, stones, and trees tore down the villages of Namaste and Namasenga. Entire households vanished beneath the earth. Parents searched for children. Children cried out of their parents. Voices fading as the mud deepened. It became one of the deadliest landslides in Uganda's history. Bodies were found days later. Others were never found at all. Bududa mourned, but the mountain still wasn't done. I remember one of the youth from 2010 told us, "I remember trying to run, but the ground moved under me like it was alive. I fell. When I stood up, the house behind me was already gone. The mud was swallowing everything. I do not know, and I could not know, and I will never know how I survived. I still dream about this moment every time I go to bed." And years later, after the 2010, fear settled permanently in Bududa. Every rainy season felt like a countdown. Villagers refused to sleep indoors when the soil began to become too soft. Whenever it became too wet, children were taught which direction to run if the hill ever began to move again. Government officials urged relocation. Some families left, but many stayed, held by their ancestral land, their crops, their memories, and the fear of not knowing where to go. They don't have money to move. And the mountain continued to shift. More landslides followed in different villages across Bududa, each one beginning the same way. Unusual heavy rain, soil soaked until it could no longer hold, cracks forming where the land once seemed stable. then the sudden unstoppable fall of earth. Some villagers were hit more than once. Others vanished entirely. The locals started to believe the mountain had chosen certain places and marked them. One of the local women in the villages said, "Some nights the ground shakes a little. Other nights water comes from the soil for no reason. When that happens, we gather outside. We do not trust the land anymore. This mountain has taken too much from us." Scientists explain the landslides with simple reasons: steep slopes, loose volcanic soil, deforestation, and rainfall. But the people of Bududa see something more. They speak of a mountain that lives and remembers, a land that grooms before it breaks, a soil that drinks too much rain until it bursts. Then there are places where villagers refuse to walk, areas where the ground still feels hollow. Trees lean at strange angles, and the soil is always slightly warm. They say the mountain is sleeping lightly, and when the rains return, it might wake them up. From the earliest recorded landslide to the Bududa tragedies known across the world, Bududa has become a place shaped by earth and memory, a land where every slope carries a story, where every rainy season awakens old fears, where the mountains watches, waits, and sometimes whispers. Because the mountain remembers its past, and in Bududa, the earth is never truly still. That's all I have for today. If you liked my story, please consider subscribing and comment down about this. If you want me to cover a full-length story about Bududa landslides, I can surely do that if you show me your full support. Just give me the like and do not forget to comment about this. Love you. Stay blessed.